Hey there, it's Mark, and we're going to talk about chords today. We're going to work on transitioning between two chords, the G chord and the C chord. This is an introductory video for beginners who are learning chords and want to firm up their changes between chords. The easiest way to do that, I believe, is with a metronome, because a metronome forces you to keep time. In fact, I want to recommend that if you don't have one, run out and get one. This is a nice little Chord metronome, cost me about 20 bucks. They are made by numerous companies. They are worth their weight in gold. The reason being that if you start practicing just by yourself without a metronome, eventually you'll get into situations where you're playing with other people and you'll not know what to do. All of a sudden the entrance of that drummer or the percussionist will throw you off. So what you want to do is work on practicing with the metronome. That way someone keeping time doesn't throw you off. Believe me, this is very, very helpful, and it's very satisfying too. If you can't afford a metronome for some reason, or you're too lazy to get one, go to Weird Metronome. Look that up on Google, Weird Metronome. That's W-E-I-R-D for those who can't spell. And you'll find a free version of a metronome that works great. So what I'm going to do is first teach you the G and the C chord. And I want you to try to do them the way I'm doing them for a couple specific reasons that will become clear later on. Now first off, I'm going to get close so you can see my fretboard. And I'm going to actually play my G chord with these three fingers. I'm going to leave that index finger out of the picture for a reason we'll talk about later on. So the first touch point, and again I'm going to be trying to touch the fretboard with this part of the finger right here, kind of that angle point. Not the very tip, but that part right there. That gives me flexibility and a clear touch point. So what I'm going to do is take this middle finger, nothing personal when I do this, but I'm going to take it and put it on that string right there. That's the second fret, 1, 2. That's the fifth string counting up from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll put that one right there. Next I'm going to take my ring finger and I'm going to count up from the bottom 6, which is the top string, and I'm going to put that on the 3rd fret. So see that? That is the 5th and the 6th string, the 2nd and the 3rd fret. Next I'm going to take my pinky. This may not be your strongest finger, but you're going to have to work it out. And I put that on the highest string, highest sounding string. This one, string number 1. That's on the 3rd fret. So really, if you think about it, this is an E string and this is an E string, so we want those both to be the same note. So that's your starting place for a G chord, and then this finger gets the completion of the chord. And this index finger just hangs out over here and touches nothing. Now when we do it well, we should get something like this. Sounds great, right? Now why am I doing that like that? Some people like to do their G chord like this with another set of fingers. It's a little stronger, but I'll show you in a second why this is a good idea. So there we go, 3 touch points, pinky, and a great sounding chord. Now notice if I go down the neck that I have some space. See how that is? And my wrist is pushed forward. If I pull my wrist back, I start muting strings. But as I pull it forward, the chord becomes more and more clear. So push that wrist forward again, the habit of doing that, even if you have to do it to excess a little bit. Now keep your chord sounding nice and clear. One exercise you can do to help practice sounding the notes correctly is literally to play one note at a time. So play my chord. And see which notes are ringing. If I do this, yep, that one's not ringing. I must be touching it with some finger, so I need to figure that out. Okay, I need to adjust that finger. There we go. Sounds good, right? Okay, now here's the reason why we're going to do this formation. So looking at my hands now, I have this chord right here, which is a G chord. Same one we've been working on. What I'm going to do is turn this into a C chord with a simple move. First part of the move is to lift the pinky. The next part is to take these 2 fingers remaining that are on the fretboard and drop them downward a string. Downward 1 string, to right there. And so now what we've done is we've moved this finger from up here to down here, this finger from up here to down here. And then I'm going to take this index finger to complete the change. And this now is a C chord. So we have this finger, the index, on the first fret of the second string from the bottom. This finger is on the fourth string from the bottom, second fret. This finger is on the fifth string from the bottom, third fret. That's a C chord. And that should sound like this. And with the C chord, typically we're going to try to not stroke this low E string. If you do, it's not the end of the world. But if you do it right, that's what it'll sound like. If it's muted, roll that wrist forward. Now notice the transition here. If you don't feel like you know the chords, back up the videos and watch them again. And here's the chord transition. There's the C. Now I'm going to go to a G by moving these two fingers up and lifting the index finger and then dropping that pinky down. And there's my G chord. So let me show you that transition now a little faster. G chord. I'm going to drop these two down while I lift my pinky and put the index finger down. Notice that pinky is touching nothing. That's the C chord. Move the pinky off. Move these two fingers up a string. Drop the pinky down. G. Beautiful, huh? Sounds good. Drop it down. Lift that pinky. Put the index down. C chord. Alright. If you don't have those chords down, then go ahead and rewind the video and you should be good. Now in the next video, part 2 of this one, I am going to now start playing that C-G progression so that you can get it down and learn it. You're going to make mistakes as you play. Don't worry about that. That's just part of the ball game. In fact, making those mistakes will make you better as long as you don't get frustrated and just keep trying. Try to stay in time with me and we'll have some fun. Alright? See you next video.